Conspiracies are being plotted against me. In my palace, the very walls that once echoed with my laughter now whisper secrets I cannot hear. Faces that once bowed in loyalty now carry eyes that shift too quickly, voices that tremble with hidden meanings. Every corridor feels heavier than before, as if the stones themselves know something I do not. I can feel the deceit in the air, thick and poisonous, wrapping itself around my every breath. Each passing day, I find myself questioning those I once called allies. The council's smiles are rehearsed, their words polished yet hollow. Even the servants who used to greet me with warmth now lower their eyes too swiftly, afraid or perhaps guilty. I have learned to trust silence more than speech, for silence at least does not lie. Sometimes I wonder if this is the price of power, to live surrounded by shadows even in the brightest halls. My crown feels heavier than ever, not from gold, but from the weight of betrayal pressing upon it. They think I am blind, that I cannot see the web they weave around me. But they forget I am my father's son. I was raised among storms. I know how to survive in darkness. I will not confront them yet. A wise prince observes before he strikes. Let them believe I am unaware. Let them whisper in their secret chambers and trade promises under candlelight. When the moment comes, their own words will betray them. Their plans will crumble like dust beneath my feet. And when dawn rises over this palace again, it will rise upon truth, upon my rule, unchallenged and absolute. The nights have grown colder, and with every passing hour, the silence of the palace grows louder. I walk through its vast halls, feeling the ghosts of loyalty that once filled them. The chandeliers still gleam with gold. The tapestries still boast of my ancestors' victories. Yet all of it feels hollow now, like an echo of a kingdom that once was. There is beauty here, yes, but it is the kind that hides rot beneath its surface. I can almost hear the laughter of those who plot behind my back, sweet and poisonous, carried by the wind through marble corridors. I remember when I trusted freely, when the world was simpler, and a man's word meant more than his ambition. But now, every smile is a weapon, every compliment a carefully wrapped dagger. Even at the royal table I taste deceit more than wine. They raise their goblets in my name, pretending to honor me, but I can see the hunger in their eyes, not for food, but for my throne. It is a cruel game they play, and yet I must play it better. At times, I find myself standing before the great mirror in my chamber, staring into the eyes of the man I have become. There was a time when I dreamed of being a just and noble ruler, a protector of my people. But justice and nobility are luxuries in a world ruled by greed. Now, I must become something else. Not a dreamer, but a strategist. Not a prince of ideals, but a prince of survival. The reflection stares back at me, unflinching, as if reminding me that mercy can be my downfall. My father once told me that the crown does not simply rest on one's head, it burns. I never understood his words until now. Every decision I make feels like fire against my skin. To show strength, I must hide my fear. To command loyalty, I must bury compassion. Yet deep within me, a part still aches. The part that remembers laughter, trust, and friendship before the poison of politics devoured them all. It is that part I must now silence. There are moments when I walk among the gardens at dusk, watching the roses wilt under the weight of the night air. They remind me of this kingdom, beautiful, yet fragile, thriving, yet bleeding beneath unseen thorns. The moonlight touches the fountains like a blessing, but even that feels distant. I have begun to understand that solitude is not my punishment, it is my inheritance. A prince surrounded by thousands, yet truly alone. Still, I watch, I listen. Every whisper, every tremor of unrest finds its way to my ears. They believe they are clever, that their secrets remain hidden, But I know the scent of treachery. It lingers long after the leer has left the room. Soon I will know every name, every hand that moves against me. I will not rush. The snake that strikes too early dies first. The one that waits survives. My patience will be my sword. And when the storm finally breaks, when masks fall and daggers are drawn, I will not tremble. The conspirators will see the price of betrayal written in fire across these halls. My wrath will be cold, deliberate, and final. This palace may have forgotten who its master is, but I will remind them. The throne was not given to me by mercy or chance. It was forged in blood, and I will not surrender it. Not now, not ever. The days have begun to blend into one another, each filled with the same heavy air of suspicion and silence. Even the dawn feels hesitant now, as though the sun itself fears to rise upon the deceit festering within these walls. Courtiers come and go, draped in silks and smiles, but their eyes betray their restless minds. Every meeting, every glance across the council chamber carries hidden meanings, subtle threats wrapped in politeness. I sit upon my throne, listening to their rehearsed words, and wonder how many of them would slit my throat if given the chance. At night, I cannot sleep. My thoughts circle endlessly, chasing the truth that hides in shadows. The flickering light of the candles throws long, trembling figures against my chamber walls, and sometimes I imagine they move on their own, like the spirits of those who once ruled before me, warning me of the dangers that lie ahead. The palace, once my sanctuary, has become my labyrinth. Every door creaks with uncertainty. Every whisper sounds like betrayal waiting to bloom. I am surrounded, yet that I have never felt more alone. I have begun to test their loyalty. Small gestures, simple questions, harmless commands. It is fascinating how easily a man's mask slips when he believes no one notices. Some bow too deeply, eager to please. Others hesitate, their eyes darting to unseen corners, seeking approval from those they secretly serve. Their actions speak more loudly than their words ever could. And though they think themselves clever, every lie they utter weaves a noose around their own necks. The game they play is cruel, but I have learned its rules well. Beyond the walls of my chamber, I have allies still, a few who remember the bloodline they serve and the honor bound to it. They move quietly, unseen among the servants and guards, gathering whispers like harvesters collect grain. It is through them that I piece together the puzzle. Names, faces, meetings held in secrecy under moonlight. I know now that this web of conspiracy reaches deeper than I thought. It is not just envy that drives them. It is ambition, the kind that blinds men and drives them to destroy what they cannot control. There are moments when I am tempted to confront them, to tear the mask from their faces and demand truth in the open light. But such rashness is the weapon of fools. I must be patient. To reveal what I know too soon would be to lose the advantage I have built. Instead, I let them think I am weak, uncertain, a prince consumed by doubt. Let them believe their poison works. The more they underestimate me, the sharper my blade becomes in silence. I have made my decision. When the time comes, it will not be words that end this treachery, but action. The same halls that now echo with their deceit will soon echo with justice. I will not shout, nor will I rage. I will let my silence speak for me. I will strip away their power, their pride, their falsehoods, until nothing remains but the truth they fear to face. The kingdom will see that mercy has its limits, and mine has been exhausted. When that day arrives, the palace will awaken to a new dawn, one cleansed by the fire of reckoning. Those who stood beside me faithfully will rise with me, their loyalty carved into history. Those who conspired will vanish into the dust of their own making. And as the sun climbs once more above these towers, it will shine not upon a prince uncertain of his rule, but upon a sovereign who has claimed his destiny, not through inheritance, but through survival. The night before the council meets again, the palace is eerily still. Even the guards at the gate seem quieter than usual, their armor glinting faintly under the moonlight. I sit by my window, overlooking the courtyard where countless ceremonies and celebrations once took place. Now, that same ground waits for a different spectacle, one not of music and laughter, but of truth and consequence. The stillness before a storm has its own rhythm, and tonight, I feel it pulsing through my veins. Every heartbeat reminds me of what must be done. There can be no turning back. I think often of my father in moments like this. He ruled with wisdom, yet his gentleness was mistaken for weakness. Those who now conspire against me were the same men who smiled at him while sharpening their blades behind his back. I will not repeat his mistakes. Compassion has no place among serpents. The lessons of his downfall were etched deep into my heart, and I have carried them like armor ever since. If he could see me now, perhaps he would understand that I am what this throne has made me, a ruler shaped by betrayal and silence. The loyal few who still serve me have already begun their work. Letters intercepted, guards replaced, alliances quietly dismantled. Every whisper of rebellion now reaches my ears before it even forms into speech. I have learned to move as they do, in secrecy, in shadows. They will not see my strike until it is too late. Tomorrow's council will be their undoing, though they believe it to be mine. They will come draped in arrogance and false loyalty, never suspecting that the same hall they filled with deceit will become their tomb. There is a strange calm that comes before justice. It is not joy, nor is it relief. It is something colder, sharper, almost divine. I have stopped asking whether my actions are right or wrong. The time for morality has passed. Survival demands something more primal. Every betrayal must be answered, not for vengeance alone, but to restore order. The kingdom deserves peace, and peace cannot be built on lies. If it is blood that must be spilled to cleanse it, then let it flow freely beneath the dawn. I have imagined their faces as 1,000 times, the flicker of realization in their eyes when they understand that the prince they plotted against has been watching all along. There will be no grand speeches, no mercy disguised as virtue. I will let silence reign as their empire of deceit crumbles. Their downfall will be swift, precise, and absolute. It is not rage that drives me anymore, it is purpose. And purpose, when forged in pain, becomes unbreakable. Beyond the horizon, I can see the faint shimmer of morning beginning to break. The light touches the highest spire of the palace, my palace, and I feel a strange sense of renewal. The kingdom sleeps unaware of what awaits it. Soon the air will change, soon history will shift. The conspirators think they have written my end, but they have only crafted the prologue of my reign. When the sun rises, it will rise upon truth, and truth will wear my crown. I rise from my chair, the echo of my footsteps steady against the cold marble floor. The corridors stretch before me, endless and familiar, yet they no longer feel like a prison. They are my battlefield now, and every shadow, every whisper, every breath within these walls belongs to me. The time for fear is over. The prince who was once doubted will emerge unshaken, and when dawn finally breaks, the world will remember not the conspiracies whispered against me, but the silence that followed, the silence of victory. The grand hall stands bathed in the pale glow of early morning, its silence deeper than any prayer. Columns rise like watchful sentinels, and banners of my house hang unmoving, as though the air itself holds its breath. One by one they enter, the lords, the advisors, the so-called loyal servants of the crown. Their steps echo faintly against the marble, a rhythm that sounds almost rehearsed. I watch them from my throne, cloaked in the authority they once sought to erode. They bow, they smile, and their words are drenched in the same sweetness that has long poisoned this court. But today, I am not the knave heir they think me to be. Today, I am the reckoning they never saw coming. Their voices rise and fall in hollow debates, pretending concern for the kingdom's welfare, while their eyes flicker toward one another in silent conspiracy. I let them speak. I let their lies fill the room like smoke. Every sentence is a thread they tighten around their own necks. I nod occasionally, feigning interest, the faintest of smiles touching my lips, a smile they mistake for uncertainty. But beneath that calm exterior, I can feel the quiet pulse of purpose building within me. It is a strange satisfaction to watch the architects of deceit walk willingly into the design of their own destruction. A servant enters with wine as is custom. They raise their goblets high, toasting to prosperity, to unity, the very ideals they have already betrayed. I do not drink. My hand remains still upon the armrest of the throne. In that moment, silence returns like a blade drawn from its sheath. Eyes shift toward me, confusion flickering like candlelight. I can almost taste their fear beneath the polished courtesy. And when I finally rise, the sound of my chair against the marble floor is louder than any trumpet of war. I speak not as a prince uncertain of his fate, but as a ruler who has already seen the truth laid bare. My words are measured, deliberate, the calm before thunder. I tell them of their secrets, their meetings under moonlight, their whispered oaths to one another. I recite names, dates, promises exchanged in hidden chambers. Each revelation strikes the hall like a hammer upon stone. The color drains from their faces. Their eyes dart desperately for allies that no longer exist. The web they wove has turned upon them. And now every strand burns in my hand. One of them dares to speak. A man once closest to my father, now trembling beneath the weight of his own guilt. He pleads for mercy, invoking loyalty long abandoned. His voice cracks as he speaks of misunderstanding, of manipulation. But I see through it. I have seen through it all along. Mercy, I realize, is a luxury afforded to the innocent, not the treacherous. I let him speak until his words collapse into silence. Then I look at him, not with anger, but with the coldness of truth. And in that silence, he understands that his fate is already sealed. Guards step forward at my signal, silent and swift. The conspirators protest, but their words dissolve into chaos. The sound of armor and boots fills the hall, echoing like judgment itself. Some shout of injustice, others lower their heads in resignation. It is over. The storm they feared has finally broken, and there is no refuge left beneath its wrath. I watch without triumph, without cruelty, only the steady acceptance that this is the price of betrayal. The kingdom will breathe again, but only after it has purged the poison from its veins. As the hall empties and the dust settles, I stand alone once more beneath the high ceiling of my inheritance. The throne feels heavier now, but it no longer burns. For the first time in years, the silence that surrounds me is not one of deceit, but of peace. The conspiracies that haunted my nights are nothing but ashes now. And though victory has left my heart colder, it has also left it unbroken. The crown rests upon my head not as a burden, but as proof that I have endured. The dawn outside has never seemed brighter, and for the first time, it feels like it belongs to me.